Didn't she squat with?
She didn't go down. I think she's.
You're right, sweetie. Oh.
Do you mind if I step in?
Go.
Yeah,
She's up.
Girl.
Sorry.
We're not live yet. We're not live. They're having problems.
I thought Heather was going to be the one to swear on camera first.
You there?
Swear like a sailor. Go for it.
Come on, Mama. He's live. You're live?
Okay, so stand by. We're not going to have an IFB. I'm going to be running back and forth. So just stand by 1 second. We're going to almost be hot.
Just tell me when.
I'm gonna be your pastor on it. Talk, Harrison, talk. Narrate, what's going on?
Good afternoon. For those of you who are joining us at home, we're live here at the Dallas Zoo's Giraffe Barn. This is the day we've been waiting for 15 months. Our giraffe has officially gone into labor. Now at this point we can see part of the 2 front legs of the baby. On one of our cameras, camera 4, you can actually see the baby's head. And we're going to be looking for movement from the baby.
They only see one feed.
We're going to be looking for movement for the baby in the next few minutes or so to make sure that he's doing well. And mom is still in the midst of labor. So over the next few minutes, you'll see her pushing harder and harder as she tries to pass this calf. This is Katie. She's a reticulated giraffe. As I mentioned, her gestation has been between 14 and 15 months or so now, so we've been waiting for this for quite some time. Katie gave us a bit of a surprise today. We had expected that we would see earlier signs of labor and a water break, but her water broke more gradually than we would typically have expected. And so she caught us a little bit off guard with a baby that was further along in labor than we expected it to be. But so far, labor looks pretty good. Our first signs of labor happened at about 5:04 this afternoon Central Time. So she's been in labor for almost 50 minutes, which is a pretty typical amount of time for a giraffe. Labor in the wild would obviously be pretty fast because a baby giraffe is prime target for predators like lions or leopards. And we see that same behavior in zoos, where any mother animal is going to be doing their best to hide their pregnancy and hide a labor to make sure that the calf stays safe. You can see lots of pushing. We're getting closer.
Hot mic. Is my tool in? It's a hot microphone. Rather tell you now than later.
We've got 2 front feet at this point, most of the knees. We've also got the head and part of the neck showing. It's a little bit different from a human birth. In most human births, we talk about the baby crowning. The first thing that you see in a human birth is the top of the baby's head. In the case of a giraffe birth, we see the front legs first. It's such a big baby that in order to fit inside of mom, the baby's got to be curled up inside there. And during birth, you're going to see those hooves slide out first, the nose slides out next, and then not too long after that, those shoulders will slide out. The shoulders on the calf are the broadest part of the baby, so that's the toughest part of labor.
Start over. Start over with where you started.
Gotcha.
No.
Enough. We are live here at the Dallas Zoo's Giraffe Barn. I'm Harrison Adele, Senior Director of Living Collections, and we are watching Katie, our reticulated giraffe, who is in the midst of labor. This is a day that we've been waiting for 15 months now. She started pushing, and we started labor today at about 5:04, so she's been in labor for about 50 minutes. And as you can see, we can see her front legs and the calf's head and mom continues to push. Mom is going to give birth from a standing location, so that baby's going to fall 6 feet down to the ground, which can be a little alarming if you're not prepared for it, but this is a totally natural behavior for a giraffe. That baby calf is going to be about 6 feet tall once it's born and weigh somewhere between 120 and 150 pounds. So that is a big baby. Every animal birth at the zoo is important. This one is especially important because reticulated giraffes are not doing all that well in the wild. There are only about 450 reticulated giraffes in North American zoos and fewer than 100,000 giraffes in all of Africa. So this baby is pretty precious. This is Katie's second calf. Her first calf, Jamie, still lives here at the zoo and was born 3 years ago. Jamie was the first calf born at the zoo in almost 25 years. And because this is Katie's second calf, we're hopeful that this will go off without a hitch. You can see that we set Katie up in a special maternity stall. This stall was designed into the building to give mother giraffes some space separate from the rest of the herd and give them space in which to bond with the calf. The rest of the herd is pretty fascinated though, so you'll see them coming over frequently to check out the progress and see what's happening. Oh, this is very exciting because we've got a lot more calf.
A lot more calf.
And she's pushing. And we've got a giraffe calf.
Look at where she's crouching.
This is so cool. We see movement in the ears. We see the youngster blinking. Those are both great signs. And mom is still up. She's obviously tired, but mom's doing well too. This is pretty exciting, folks. Again, this is 15 months that we've been waiting to meet this calf. So we finally get a chance to meet the newest member of the Dallas Zoo giraffe herd, I should say. You know, in the next half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, we're going to look for the calf to stand up. And in the next couple of minutes, you'll likely see mom, after she's over some of the exhaustion, checking on the calf, nuzzling the calf, cleaning the calf off, and helping it to stand. But at this point, having been in labor for about an hour, Katie's obviously pretty exhausted. Keepers are going to be checking on the giraffe. Veterinary staff will be checking on the calf in the next few minutes, too, to make sure that the baby is healthy and doing well. Fingers crossed. But again, this was a pretty ideal birth in terms of the timing. Labor lasted about an hour, which is good. It's a good sign. Absolutely. Baby looks good at this point. Of course, we are going to continue checking on the baby in the next few minutes or so. Mom's going to check on the baby. Mom's got to check the baby too, and she'll most likely, we hope, be licking the baby and keeping it clean. But again, so far, this is all pretty natural behavior, and the delivery looks pretty good so far. Again, this is Katie's second calf. She is not new to this. She might look a little bit startled because the calf just moved for the first time, but at the same time, this is, again, her second calf. She was a brilliant mother the first time around with a 3-year-old youngster whose name is Jamie. This calf doesn't have a name yet, but we'll be naming the calf in the next few weeks. She's obviously curious, but she's still exhausted too, and that's understandable. I think some of what we're seeing is the clumsiness associated with pure exhaustion because she's just given birth, and that, again, is totally natural. So in talking to some of the keepers in here who just had a chance to look up close, it sounds like part of the amniotic sac that covers the calf inside of mom was covering the baby's face after it was born. Whether it was intentional or not, it looks like Katie with her hoof had moved that sac off of the youngster's face, which is a good thing. We've obviously seen the eyes move and the ears move, which is a good sign the baby was definitely alive and well But baby and mom are both exhausted at this point, so we'll give them a few minutes before we expect mom to start cleaning off that calf and helping it to struggle up onto its feet. I should mention that I am joined here in the office at the Giraffe Barn by a good number of Katie's keepers, as well as veterinary staff. And these 8 high-definition cameras that we set up around the specially designed maternity stall will give us great vantage points to monitor both mom and calf. We prefer to let mom raise the youngster on its own and exhibit natural behaviors, but we're always ready and prepared to step in if we need to. We did have a giraffe birth here at the zoo last year that required that we intervene to help the calf be born. In this case, we did not have to intervene, which is a great, great sign. Staff here is obviously pretty excited. We've been waiting for a long time, over a year, to meet this calf, and so far so good. You can see that the other members of the giraffe herd are totally infatuated with this little animal already. They're naturally pretty curious. A couple of our giraffes have seen previous births, but for last year's youngster, Capano, who was born in fall of last year, this is the first birth that he's witnessed.
Camera 7. You see Katie's face watching the baby.
I don't have the ability to tell them the camera. It's a kid switch. What we're looking for is for mom to be licking the youngster. That's going to help stimulate the calf. It's also going to keep the calf clean and nice and get some of the extra amnion off. Once that calf is stimulated and up and moving around, in the wild it's going to have to follow mom immediately so that it doesn't become prey to predators out on the savannah. We look for that same behavior here. So in the next hour or so, we're going to look for mom to continue stimulating that calf, and the calf is going to struggle up to its feet. You can see he's already wiggling around, and mom is licking the calf to get him going. It's definitely pretty typical for both mom and calf to be exhausted at this point. That's a pretty big baby for mom to have delivered. And the baby, of course, is exhausted as well. So while we always hope that the baby is up and moving around mere seconds after birth, that's not typical. The behavior that we're seeing right now is a lot more typical for an animal like this.
How was her labor? How was it? Unexpected.
Katie definitely surprised us today with a labor that was a little bit faster than we expected it would be, but at the same time, everything so far has looked really, really good. In all, labor took about an hour, which is a pretty good amount of time. You can see the calf is starting to move around a little bit more now. Starting to wake up, and we've got quite a few giraffes who are fascinated in the next stall over watching every single movement. Again, for some of these giraffes, this is not their first birth, but for a couple of them, this is the first giraffe birth that they've ever seen. So they are naturally just as fascinated as we are. Now, in the next few minutes, our veterinary staff are going to be looking to make sure that Katie is awake and alert and comfortable. We're also going to keep looking for more movement from the calf. We can see he's getting used to those long legs of his. I mentioned earlier that the giraffe calf will be 6 feet tall when he stands up and somewhere between 120 and 150 pounds in weight. Now, the easiest way for us to tell that is by weighing mom after the birth. Since we get regular weights on a lot of our animals, including the giraffes here at the Dallas Zoo, we can compare her weight after the birth to her weight immediately before the birth to get a good sense of exactly how much that calf weighed at birth, and we'll share that with you soon. So far, all of her maternal behaviors give us indications that Katie knows exactly what she's doing. She was a great mom the first time around, and we hope she'll be a great mom this time too. Her previous calf, Jamie, was born 3 years ago, And that was almost 4 years ago now, being corrected by a keeper who knows better than I do. And that calf 4 years ago was the first giraffe calf at the Dallas Zoo in about 25 years. So Katie's got this down at this point, which gives us lots of confidence in her abilities as a mom. Katie is a reticulated giraffe. These are the giraffes you'd see in far northeastern Africa, parts of Somalia, Ethiopia, and North Kenya. There are only about 450 reticulated giraffes in North America and fewer than 100,000 giraffes in all of Africa. So even though they're not officially an endangered species yet, their numbers are not looking good, so this baby is especially precious. You can see the youngster's struggling to get his head up off the ground. That's a great sign. He's trying to tuck his legs underneath and he's already trying to stand. This is very cool. Mom is in a great protective stance. He's a little sandy, but that's to be expected too. And again, we expect Mom in the next few minutes is going to be even more focused on cleaning him up and getting him ready to stand. This is a very alert baby. That's a great, great sign. Baby was born only about 10 to 15 minutes ago, and his head is already up, and he's already alert and active, which is great. Keeping our fingers crossed for him to be upright and standing in just a few minutes. We can see on camera 7 that almost every other member of the giraffe herd is checking him out right now. There are 12 giraffes that live here at the Dallas Zoo. And it looks like most of them are in the stall next door, totally fascinated by the newest member of the herd. Now, we won't know if the new calf is a boy or a girl for a little while. We'll do a well baby check in the next week to make sure that everything looks good. But unless we get a really, really good camera shot, or unless we get a really close look at the calf, we won't know if this is a boy or a girl for a little while.
Is that Jesse? Yeah, roll his head. This is the one that can reach that.
We've got our feet underneath us, which is a good sign. Just a couple minutes, we expect those legs to be underneath that calf, and we will most likely be standing.
No. If there is a problem, I will call her. Yes, I think we
Now,
are.
people often wonder exactly where our giraffes come from at the zoo. I think some people assume that giraffes come from Africa, and in the wild, of course, they're found in Africa, but all of the giraffes that live at the Dallas Zoo and the vast majority of giraffes that you see in the U.S. were born in zoos. We're participants in the American Zoo Association's Giraffe Species Survival Plan, which is the plan that recommended these particular parents. In a process that's not totally unlike computer dating, we use all sorts of different factors to decide which two giraffes might be good candidates for the breeding program and who might be good matches for one another. And in this case, Tobogo and Katie were selected as good matches from a genetic standpoint. And 15 months later, we've got a giraffe calf. We had hoped to have lots more notice that Katie was in the process of giving birth. We expected we would see a very dramatic breaking of the water, which is a great first sign. We expected to see lots of contractions and changes in behavior, but it's not unusual for wild animals to hide their labor. If a wild animal goes into labor and is about to produce a youngster, that youngster is potentially a target for predators. So in the wild, animals will do lots of things to hide their pregnancy and hide their labor. In this case, Katie did a pretty good job of hiding the fact that she was going into labor. So our first sign that she was in labor was the appearance of a hoof.
Okay,
Now, typical birth process for a giraffe, because that giant 6 foot tall baby is crammed into mom's belly, is that we'll see the front hooves poke out first during labor. Then we see the little calf's snout poking out. And then not long after that, we'll see the shoulders pass out, and then the baby's on the ground. And the baby does fall 6 feet down to the ground when it's born, which sounds a little bit rough. It's a little bit of a rough start to the world, but unfortunately, for many, many years, we thought that that was unnatural. In reality, when we look at giraffes out in the wild, that's a pretty natural behavior as well. So we allow them to do the same behaviors here at the zoo. And that 6 foot drop down to the ground makes sure that the umbilicus snaps, and it's also the giraffe equivalent of the slap on the bottom to make sure that the baby is wide awake and alert. Now, we are here. Now, Katie's right through the doors behind us. We've got those blocked out, and we've been using quiet voices to try and keep the situation as calm as possible while she was in labor because we didn't want to disturb her. It's pretty typical for a giraffe cow, a female in the wild, to sort of split off from the herd when she's about to give birth. She'll spend some time bonding with that calf before they rejoin the herd later. So here at the Dallas Zoo, when we built our giraffe barn, we designed a maternity stall, which we bedded down with nice fresh sand to help absorb the fall from that 6 foot height when the calf was born. We prepped this stall for Katie about a month ago. We installed these 8 high definition cameras so that we could monitor every step of her pregnancy. You guys will see that she is passing placenta right now. Rest of the amniotic sac, which again is a really natural behavior, and she's gone right back to the calf, which is a really good sign. We know that she's a good mom because she did a great job with her first calf. This is, again, her second calf, so we're pretty confident that she knows what she's doing. And already that calf is wide awake and alert and up and moving around. Oh, youngster's gonna try. It's important to remember that the calf is not real coordinated at this point, having only been born 20 minutes ago. So we don't expect that they're going to be completely coordinated standing and up and running, but within the first hour or so, we do expect that the calf is going to be up and following mom. And as you can see, looks like just about every other member of the herd is in there checking out this new calf. They're just as excited to meet the new member of the herd as we are. That's a good, strong baby, and that's a good sign. Now, the amniotic sac and the amnion that you saw her pass just a few moments ago is the sac that inside mom's body surrounds the youngster. That's that sac of fluid that surrounds the youngster and cushions it while the baby's developing. And from a veterinary standpoint, we like to see mom pass all of that fluid after the birth because it means that she's passing everything that's associated with this calf and with the calf's development and cleaning out her system after the calf's done being born. So all of those are totally natural behaviors.
Move the tripod out if we're not going to use it. No.
So Katie today went into labor about 5 minutes after 5 Central Time. That whole process of labor to birth lasted about 50 minutes. So the baby was born at about 10 minutes to 6. So this baby was only born about 25 minutes ago. So this is a very, very young giraffe calf. And so far we've seen almost nothing but attentive behavior from mom since its birth, which is great. It's exactly what we're looking for. You might hear a couple of bangs and noises coming from the barn. The other members of the giraffe herd who are in the next stall over are pretty excited. So there's definitely some jostling for space going on in the doesn't seem all that impressed by the newest member of the herd, potentially because he won't be getting quite as much attention now. Capano is the half-brother to this youngster. He shares the same dad but a different mom. Typically in a giraffe herd, you'll have one big dominant bull. Here at the Dallas Zoo, that's Tobogo, who a lot of our guests have met out in the giraffe feed yard. Tobogo is the father to all 3 of the calves that have been born here at the Dallas Zoo in the last couple of years. Jamie is our 4-year-old calf who was Katie's first calf. Tobogo was born last fall. And this, of course, is the newest giraffe, who, of course, does not yet have a name, but who we hope to be able to involve our guests in the naming of in the next couple weeks or so. Obviously, we are pretty darn excited here at the Dallas Zoo. All of Katie's keepers are here at the office at the Giraffe Barn watching on cameras, and these high-definition cameras have given us an incredible view of the entire labor. And any birth is potentially risky, so we always want to make sure that we're prepared for the worst, but we always hope for the best. So all of our veterinary staff are here on call as well. We've been able to monitor every step of the birth as well as the calf's development. And needless to say, after 15 months, everybody's pretty excited to meet this calf in person. The mom's been pretty attentive, and again, we're keeping our fingers crossed and waiting and watching for this calf to struggle up to its feet. Obviously, for a giraffe, that standing position is pretty important in the wild because the calf needs to be able to follow mom from an early age in order to keep up with her and keep up with the rest of the herd and stay away from predators. And in the next few hours, we're also going to be looking for nursing. Now, prior to birth, female giraffe's udders swell with milk as she prepares to give birth to the calf. So mom should be ready at this point to nurse that calf. We had hoped that Katie would give us lots and lots of signs that she was ready to give birth, but she didn't give us all of the signs that we were hoping for. So she caught us a little bit off guard today. But all's well that ends well, and this calf looks really, really good. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for a healthy first day of life for this youngster, because there are some pretty important milestones in the next few hours and few days. Next few hours and few days. Now, as far as a lot of African wildlife goes, people are pretty familiar with African elephants and rhinoceros and some of the challenges that face those species, but not many people realize how endangered giraffes are. Officially, they're not an endangered species yet, but we continue to see decreases in their numbers in the wild. So this calf is precious to their long-term survival. We hope that guests who come out to the zoo and meet this calf and get to watch him grow will be inspired to go learn more about giraffes and potentially take some steps to protect giraffes. They're pretty incredible animals, but there are fewer than 100,000 giraffes left in Africa. Now this calf, again, once he stands, will most likely be about 6 feet in height, but won't reach full height until the age of about 2 years. It takes him some time to grow. And most likely this calf is going to stay with Katie for at least the first 2 years of life, give or take. If it's a male calf, it's usually driven away from the herd once it gets to be competition with dad. If it's a female calf, it may actually stay with mom for years and years. So oftentimes when we see herds out in the wild in Africa, you see matriarchal herds with lots of different females who are related to one another, sisters and granddaughters and daughters, while the males live kind of off on their own in smaller herds or as a solitary bachelor.
I'm glad she did it on a day that my hair's not.
Lots of guests always want to know when they can see the calf here at the zoo. And quite frankly, that's kind of up to the giraffes. We usually try to get the giraffes out into the yard for guests to view in the first week and a half to 2 weeks, but that's always going to be up to mom and the calf. We want to make sure that mom and the calf have lots of time to bond with one another. We want to make sure that the calf is following mom appropriately to and fro before we shift anybody out into the big yard for guests to meet that calf. Obviously, in the next couple hours or so, we're going to make sure that we give Katie lots and lots of food. She's going to be exhausted after giving birth. So you may see keepers going in and out of the barn in the next few hours or so, making sure that she's got lots of sustenance to keep her strong so that she can start feeding that youngster. On camera 2, you can see that mom's still licking that calf, and he's working on getting up. This is great behavior. We really like to see her attentive in cleaning that calf up. And these are all really, really good signs. But she's an old hand at this, so we knew that she'd be a good mom. Now we may even see her, once the baby tries to stand, nudging the youngster with her head. She's going to keep a protective stance over that youngster, just like she would in the wild. And she's going to continue licking to keep that calf up and awake and alert and stimulated. You can see that this giraffe calf was born with a full complement of giraffe senses, ginormous ears, incredible eyesight. Those ears are incredible. Every giraffe has its own unique pattern of spots, just like fingerprints. That's often how we can tell one giraffe from the other at the zoo. It's also how researchers out in the wild can tell the difference between one giraffe and the next. For researchers in Africa, they'll take a photo of the same spot on a giraffe, like the left shoulder, and that way they can track giraffes in a certain area from one period to the next, using those patterns of spots on the shoulder to tell the difference between one giraffe and the next. So this little calf with its unique pattern of spots, once he or she gets a little bit bigger, will be an animal that we can definitely tell as he stands out from the rest of the herd with that unique pattern of spots. Now, obviously, a whole lot of staff have been here this afternoon to monitor this delivery and make sure that everything goes smoothly. A lot of Katie's keepers are here in the office watching on these cameras, as well as veterinary staff and curators. Oh, goodness. That looks a little bit more rough than it is. That's totally natural, though. And that's part of why we give them that nice, thick, soft bed of sand to absorb the fall. We expect that giraffe calves are going to be a little bit clumsy the first few times they try to stand, just like a horse foal or a baby cow's calf might be. It's typical that any calf or mom is going to be a little bit exhausted. That certainly contributes to the clumsiness, but at the same time, this youngster hasn't ever stood before, so this is its first step. Now we know that a lot of folks are going to want to follow this calf as it grows. We love to post lots and lots of photos through social media on our Facebook page at Dallas Zoo. We'll keep you informed of the gender of the calf. We'll let you know how to participate in the naming of the calf, and we'll of course let you know once that calf is out on view at the Giants of the Savannah here at the Dallas Zoo, so you can come see the giraffe in person and perhaps meet Katie for the first time if you haven't already. We can see that the calf is now sitting upright. The rest of the herd is still totally fascinated, as they should be. Mom is still doing a splendid job cleaning this calf up, just as expected. We're going to try and get our feet under us again. We're going to think about standing up again. It's a great position, but that's hard when you've got legs that long to stand up for the first time. You can see the youngsters reaching up towards Katie too from time to time. Bear in mind, this is the first time that this little calf has seen the world too. So there's a lot of new stimuli, a lot of things to see and smell and hear. Now the introduction back to the herd can be a little bit tricky too. With 12 giraffes here at the Dallas Zoo, now 13 giraffes. We're going to take that step by step and make sure that this giraffe calf meets our most gentle giraffe herd members first. And then we gradually introduce to other members of the herd, depending on everybody's behavior.
Jesse wants camera time. He's asking. She's a good mother. She's been
Now Katie, of course, is a second-time mom. Her first calf is a 4-year-old giraffe who still lives here at the Dallas Zoo. That's Jamie. We're not quite sure how Jamie is going to see this new calf. She will most likely compete with the youngster for Katie's attention. We'll see how that goes. Oh, well, yeah, okay.
It's so hard being.
We tried.
Come on, I was giving him notes from the wall.
Now, giraffes used to be found all throughout sub-Saharan Africa, Western Africa, all the way down to the Cape in South Africa. Their range has constricted quite a bit, so they're not found in every spot of Africa anymore, and some of those giraffe types, like the West African giraffe, are down to just a couple hundred individuals. Katie is a reticulated giraffe, so she's the species that you would normally find in northeastern Africa, northern Kenya, parts of Somalia. We do expect this calf will most likely stand within an hour or so of birth, give or take. Every calf has to take it at their own speed. but we've already seen this little one try a couple of times. It's gonna try again here. But with those long, long legs, and this is the first time standing up, it's quite a challenge to get those legs positioned in the right spot underneath the body so that this little calf can stand up. And that's crucial in the wild because Africa is full of predators. There are all sorts of animals like leopards and lions and hyenas that in the wild would typically target a little giraffe like this calf. So it's absolutely crucial that a wild giraffe calf be able to get up and follow mom pretty quickly after birth in order to stay safe. And here at the Dallas Zoo, we want to make sure that we give animals every opportunity to express natural behaviors. So we want to see the same urgency. We want to see that calf try and stand up and follow mom just like it would out in the wild. And that for us is a good indicator that this is a healthy youngster. And we definitely saw a little bit of a shift in Katie's appetite in the last couple of days. Typically, as a female giraffe gets closer and closer to giving birth, she's less and less hungry. But we also expect that now that she has given birth, she's going to eat like it's going out of style for the next couple of days. She's expended a lot of energy in this last 2 hours, giving birth to this beautiful young calf. So she's going to have to replenish all those stores, eating lots of fancy giraffe pellets and lots of browse, fresh leafy material that we harvest every day here at the Dallas Zoo. Her particular favorites include elm and hackberry. We're going to be able to stay live here at the Dallas Zoo Giraffe Barn until that youngster stands. We want you guys to see every goofy attempt to stand. And I know that you'll be just as excited as we are once that youngster is up on its feet. We still don't know the gender of this calf. Sometimes we can tell if the baby is in the right position and we've got the right camera angle and we can get a good glimpse. Other times we might not know for a day or two. Depends on mom's behavior and it depends on the calf's behavior. There are definitely giraffe moms out there who keep the calf underneath them for the first 3 days or so of life, and they're so protective that it's tough for us to really get a good glimpse. But as soon as we know the gender of this youngster, we'll definitely let you all know at home. And we expect that not too long after that youngster's up on its feet and standing, it's going to give an opportunity to nurse. So Katie will be there protecting it. Katie's going to be standing over it, giving it every opportunity and every access to the udder that's right on her belly, just like it would be on a cow. And we expect that in the next couple hours or so, we'll see some good nursing behavior from that calf too, which again is a really great sign. And just like with antelope or cattle, a male giraffe is a bull, a female giraffe is a cow, and we refer to this youngster as a calf. You might also see one of Katie's keepers in the hallway. Whenever we have an animal in birth here, we try and utilize our keeper staff. We try and find a keeper with whom that animal is really familiar to take some good observations. We take lots and lots of notes. Oh, we're going to try and stand, but we're not quite there yet. We're getting there. We're getting better with every attempt. By utilizing camera footage and the notes that we take during birth, we can compare one birth to the next. We can compare calf development to make sure that we understand how the youngsters are doing, make sure that we're benchmarking and comparing from one youngster to the next. And again, this is our third giraffe calf here at the Dallas Zoo in the last 25 or so years. Our oldest calf is Jamie, who's almost 4 years old now. Little Capano was born last fall. And this again is our newest youngster, born about 40 minutes ago. And this calf is the ultimate product of the American Zoo Association's Species Survival Plan for reticulated giraffes. There are almost 450 giraffes that are maintained as part of that species survival plan, and every individual is tracked so that we know who's related to who. We can draw essentially a giant family tree with including every giraffe in North America, and that allows us to find good partners for giraffes. So Tobogo and Katie, the parents for this little calf, were selected a few years ago as good partners for one another. Those two are the parents to both of Katie's calves. And this calf is particularly important because giraffes are not doing well out in the wild. The biggest problems for giraffes in Africa include hunting, as well as habitat destruction. Unfortunately, in a lot of parts of Africa where giraffes are found, water is a very scarce resource, as is food. So if you're going to try and feed your family, a giraffe is a great target. So this calf is particularly important as we prepare to do everything we can to connect our guests with giraffes and get people excited about giraffes so that we can try and find ways to help giraffes out in the wild. We hope that we're going to continue to see Katie working on licking that calf and helping that calf up to its feet. She's going to continue to stimulate that calf, help the calf up to its feet so that it can nurse and so that it can follow mom. And we don't know the exact weight of the calf quite yet, but we'll guesstimate that soon. We'll also be able to use Katie's body weight prior to the calf's birth and her body weight tomorrow morning to give us a good estimate of what that calf's weight is. Here in the giraffe barn at the Dallas Zoo, we're equipped with a giraffe-sized scale. Essentially, that scale is designed into the building in a position so that our giraffes can step on and off that scale daily as part of their training regimen. That allows us to monitor their health through body weight. And in the case of a calf like this one, we're going to be able to guesstimate the calf's birth weight using mom's weight before and after. And all the behaviors we see from Katie are really ideal. This is exactly what we're looking for. So there's a lot of relieved animal keepers in the room right now. We're pretty happy to see this. We were pretty confident in Katie's abilities. She's a second-time mom, so she's definitely not new at this, but it's still a relief since every birth carries some risk to see mom doing well and calf doing well and mom behaving exactly as we'd hope she would. Katie got the best veterinary care possible with regular checkups throughout the pregnancy. That same spot where we designed a perfect position for a scale also gives us a good protected location to get close looks at Katie. This youngster is trying really hard to stand up. He's getting closer every single time. But as you can imagine, he's pretty tired at this point. And at the age of less than an hour, I wouldn't expect him to be totally coordinated yet anyways. This youngster looks great. He's wide-eyed and alert and active. Of course, even though it's pretty quiet here in the giraffe barn intentionally so that we don't disturb mom or the youngster, you can see he's absorbing all sorts of stimuli. There are lots of giraffes next door. Lots of licking from mom. Lots and lots of new sights and smells to get used to. And on top of that, there's that natural urge to stand up and get underneath mom and follow her. Keepers and vet staff have been waiting 15 months now for this, so it's quite a long time in the waiting. I'm pretty excited to meet this little calf and hugely relieved to see that he or she is doing well. The Dallas Zoo is really involved in lots of conservation efforts, including some that are focused specifically at giraffes. Giraffe Conservation Fund in Africa is a program that we've worked with in the past that does phenomenal work to help us understand giraffes out in the wild. Some of those observations help us to make sure that we provide the best care for the giraffes that live here. And a lot of their work is focused on finding ways to connect local African people with giraffe conservation efforts in the wild to make sure that we still have giraffes here on Earth in 100 years. I should mention that all of the giraffes that you see in American zoos were born in a zoo. As of right now, there are no giraffes in American zoos that came from Africa. A lot of those animals, and a lot of their work is focused on finding ways to connect local African people with giraffe conservation efforts in the wild to make sure that we still have giraffes here on Earth in 100 years. I should mention that all of the giraffes that you see in American zoos were born in a zoo. As of right now, there are no giraffes in American zoos that came from Africa. A lot of those animals that you meet in a zoo are multiple generation captive bred giraffes. Giraffes can be challenging to breed in zoos. We're all watching with bated breath every time this youngster tries to get up and stand. We're rooting for him. He's doing really well. So far, so good. We love to see the behavior from mom. We still love to see the behavior from the youngster. Now it's just a waiting game until he can get those feet in the right position underneath him to get up and off the ground. But so far, every indication is that this youngster is pretty darn healthy. Now, because we put such a high priority on natural behavior, letting giraffes be giraffes here at the Dallas Zoo, we would only really step in and help and assist if we felt that it was absolutely necessary for medical reasons. So while the veterinary team is standing by here at the office in the giraffe barn, you won't see us interacting with the calf until we absolutely have to, if we deem that necessary for some reason. But so far, we don't have any reason to think that the calf or mom need assistance from us. So the only staff that you'll see out in the barn with the giraffes are a keeper or two who are recording notes of every milestone that we hit and keeping close watch on those giraffes up close. And those of us here in the office are using quiet voices because we don't want to disturb mom, because she's right on the other side of one set of doors. But these 8 high-definition cameras that we set up around the maternity stall are giving us a great view, which we're really excited to share with all of you at home. Labor sometime around 5:05, just as most of her keepers were on their way home, conveniently. Labor took about 50 minutes or so, and this healthy calf was down on the ground less than an hour later. So that's a great, great, great time frame. We like to see a giraffe birth that takes less than 2 hours. In the wild, giraffe birth might take as little as 30 or 40 minutes or so. If a mother giraffe takes 2 hours or longer during labor, we would typically step in and assist, just like we had to do last fall with Capano, the last calf that was born here at the Dallas Zoo. In that case, Capano's head was in the wrong position, so vets had to step in and assist, moving his head into the right position to allow mom to give birth fully. In this case, with this newest calf, member of the Dallas Zoo's giraffe herd, we didn't have to assist at all. Katie knew exactly what she was doing. We saw the front hooves of the calf first. We saw the snout poke out next. The youngster's shoulders passed without any problem, and this baby was born in a very, very short period of time, which is great news for both calf and mom. Now, with legs that long, it takes a baby giraffe some time to figure out exactly how to get those legs positioned in the right spot to lift his body up off the ground. And at birth, baby giraffes are somewhere between 120 and 150 pounds, so that's a lot of weight to lift. But so far, this baby gives us every indication that he or she is pretty darn healthy. Maybe a little clumsy, but healthy. like every time Katie finishes cleaning the calf off, he covers himself with sand yet again. When we designed the giraffe barn, we designed it specifically with this maternity stall that gave a pregnant mom or a new mom lots of privacy, lots of security, separate from the rest of the giraffe herd, which now numbers 13 animals here at the Dallas Zoo. We have 12 larger giraffes as well as this 13th little giraffe who was just born almost an hour ago.
Heard that, right?
So I'm joined at the office of the Giraffe Barn by a number of people, including Katie's keepers, including some of our veterinary team, curators, and our VP of Animal Operations and Welfare, Dr. Lynn Kramer, who I think is pretty excited to meet this calf.
I am, and I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every member of the animal care staff. You guys have been great, especially these last 2 months as we came to the end of this pregnancy, but I know it's been a long haul, and you guys have done a lot of work to prepare the stall and Katie herself. So congratulations, everyone.
You guys did a great job. Really, really phenomenal job preparing for this. As we mentioned, this has been 15 months in the waiting. Working every single day, day in and day out. Oftentimes we'll do lots of training with the animals in preparation for births. So here at the zoo, I mentioned that we have a huge scale that allows us to weigh the giraffes. We have something called a GRD, giraffe restraint device, which is a chute with movable walls that allows us to get up close safely, to do a pregnancy check, to do an ultrasound as we prepare for the birth, to get a body weight. And all of those contribute to an outstanding level of husbandry and veterinary care here at the Dallas Zoo, which ultimately results in really, really healthy youngsters like this one who's trying so hard to stand up. We're getting closer and closer every single time. Fingers crossed. Come back to here.
All right, it's my impression that this birth was really textbook. Once the labor started, the calf was delivered in a timely manner, and the mom took care of it, started licking it, and it couldn't have gone any smoother. We will take the opportunity in the animal health department to do a well baby check, usually 24 to 48 hours, and we'll determine the sex and also make sure the calf is in general good health.
Now at this point, our veterinary staff are all here in the office with us. We're utilizing these high-definition cameras to check the youngster out and check mom out. And we've got a calf on its feet. That's a huge step. That's quite a milestone for a little calf. We're not quite sure that his hooves are totally underneath him, but he's in the standing position, which is a good sign.
I see his fat left.
We in the right spot, you think?
Yeah.
Good.
He's on his feet. Yeah. That is a good point. Yeah, that is good.
We love seeing each of these milestones as this little one progresses.
Now what do I do?
We're not quite coordinated enough to walk, but that's okay. We are at least in a standing position, and that's the first step towards being close enough to mom that we can nurse. And mom is going to keep cleaning and licking and keeping that youngster totally stimulated and clean. We always hope that mom, in her efforts to keep the youngster clean, doesn't knock the baby back over. Sometimes that happens, but that's also natural. This calf is maybe not actually totally 6 feet tall. Might be a little shorter than 6 feet. Just from looking at cameras. You can see it. A lot of other giraffes are totally fascinated too. And we were really excited to partner with Animal Planet on this project. Gave us the opportunity to share this amazing birth with all sorts of people around the globe who are just as fascinated by giraffes as we are. This is the first time that Animal Planet's ever partnered in an opportunity like this. It's the first time that an animal birth like this at a zoo has ever been broadcast live. But we thought this is a really phenomenal opportunity to share really, really amazing wildlife with those of you at home. We're pretty excited to meet this calf. We hope that you are too.
Allison just pointed out that this giraffe has the same markings as her mom, which is a heart.
Interesting.
Got a little, how does Daisy look, right?
On camera 4?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Four, just a couple inches down from the ear, there's a nice heart shape. You've got one in almost that same spot.
That's one of the ways that guests can pick Katie out is from the heart-shaped spot on her. And it looks like her calf has a similar heart-shaped spot on its neck as well,
Face in the brows.
which you might not be able to see right now since our face is tucked into that brows.
A little too young for that right now, kiddo.
Mom is still doing a phenomenal job keeping that youngster cleaned up.
Maybe he's trying to hide.
She's been attentive from the first few moments or so, which is great. Now, I keep referring to the calf as a he, but we don't actually know the gender. We still can't quite tell. Once we do know the gender, we'll share it with folks via Facebook, but we still don't quite know.
Good catch. Good catch.
Good job.
Now, we know that a lot of folks are going to be excited to meet this calf
Do we count
in
that as a
person, and that might not happen for a week and a half to 2 weeks or so. We always let Mama Giraffe and the calf take it at their own speed. We want to make sure that the calf is following Mom appropriately, that they've had enough time to bond with one another. And we usually try and introduce Mom and the calf back to a couple other members of the giraffe herd so that they can all travel to and from the exhibit together. As soon as we're ready to introduce this calf to people in person, out in the exhibit at Giants of the Savannah, we'll announce that via Facebook on the Dallas Zoo's Facebook page.
Not quite as soft and fluffy.
We have a lot of other giraffes who are fascinated, and some of whom look maybe a little bit nervous. For some of our giraffes, this is the first time they've met a calf. For a lot of our giraffes, they've met calves before, but it's still a big event. There's a lot going on. There are fewer than 450 articulated giraffes, I should say, in North America. As of today, there is one more. There are fewer than 100,000 giraffes in all of Africa. So even though this species is not officially endangered yet, their populations aren't doing very well out in the wild. So this calf is an important ambassador for his or her species. We hope that guests who visit zoos will get excited about the wildlife that they meet at the zoo and want to go home and learn more about wildlife and things that we can all do to help protect them. We can, of course, keep watching this on the web feed at animalplanet.tv and on Animal Planet Television. We've got a lot more coverage coming. It's a pretty phenomenal day here at the Dallas Zoo. We are so excited to meet this little calf.
But you know what my preference is.
Yeah, I know that.
Television. We've got a lot more coverage coming. It's a pretty phenomenal day here at the Dallas Zoo. We are so excited to meet this little calf.
But you know what my preference is.
Yeah, I know that.
These are some very curious giraffes who are very excited to meet this calf.
Augie's trying to enforce the privacy rules here, but they're not really listening. Her kiddo's an overachiever too. Look at him already trying to eat that thing.
No, we are so excited to meet the newest member of the giraffe herd here at the Dallas Zoo. We're so excited that we got to share this with all of you. Thank you guys for viewing. We'll keep you informed as we move forward. Thanks so much this afternoon, and we'll keep you in the loop as this little one continues to develop. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Dallas Zoo.
We're going to leave Katie so she and her calf can. We're going to leave Katie so she and her calf can have some time together. Keep an eye on Animal Planet. Our live cameras will continue to follow Katie and her calf on animalplanet.com. And if you missed any of Katie's extraordinary delivery, catch her story on a special presentation of Giraffe Birth Live, coming soon on Animal Planet. Thanks so much for joining us for Giraffe Birth Live.
Yeah.
What time was birth on the ground?
Sheet of notes, please. The first sheet of notes, that will be helpful.
No. Thank you, Kevin.
It was a very typical birth, exactly what normally happens. You know, they usually go in the evening, and they
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we didn't time the giraffe birth well. That wasn't up to. We tried to ask her to slow down, but she didn't listen to us. So, did what we could. Got it.
You are.
Yes. Okay, maybe not that.
Maybe I'm not excited.
Don't.
Had to talk about. Great.
There we go.
Oh, wow. That's a good view.
Except for Jesse's like, what? I can barely see it
Enough of
down there.
She's like, that's enough. That's enough of everybody.
Go away.
We're done.
Back over here where I can watch you. Just a dead in sync. Good stereo in there.
Probably the only thing we actually heard right now.
What now?
I always hear the Jaws music in my head
Yeah,
when they're trying
that's what you were
to-
doing, wasn't it?
Dun, dun, dun.
So hour.
interrupting this program to bring you Giraffe Birth Live.
We're at the Dallas Zoo with an update on Katie, who's just given birth to her baby giraffe.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Harrison Adele, the Senior Director of Living Collections here at the Dallas Zoo, and I am at the office of the Giraffe Barn, and we are all so excited because we just had a baby. It's not a human baby, it's a giraffe calf. We just met the newest member of our giraffe herd here at the Dallas Zoo, Katie, the female giraffe who's been pregnant and with whom we've been working for the last 15 months, just gave birth about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Katie went into birth at 5:05 this afternoon. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy 52 minutes later, and we are so excited.
Oh, whoa.